So it's hella early where I am this morning. It is super early. And if I sound a little stuffy, I've been on the move, traveling a little bit. But I was thinking about how I had recently had a huge manifestation come in. And one of the things that I like to do in order to realize my manifestations in the 3D. I kind of want to share that today because the truth is sometimes we think that we know the exact best way. You think you know how it's going to get here. You think you know exactly how it's going to unfold. You think you know how the pieces should line up. And the truth here is one of the things that really helps me is to stop insisting that this moment, this present moment be any different than what it is now. And I'm going to talk about the reason why that is and how this really just helps me understand how to allow my I am to take over. So let's get into this conversation. And I want you to think about, have you ever noticed that the more you insist that something changes, the more it seems to stay the same? That no matter how hard you push, that thing won't budge, that manifestation won't show, your SP won't be different, the money is not coming, all of those things. That's because insistence is resistance. And I know we talked about this before, but I really want to just remind you this week as you're going throughout your week and intending for your desires, because this is really important, you guys. And resistance is exactly what keeps you locked in to that undesired reality. But today, I really want to talk about how I move out of unfavorable circumstances, not by fighting them, but by allowing them. Because the moment you stop needing this present moment, this only one moment to change, that's when that transformation, that's when the unfolding, that's when that rearranging begins, right? So I want to talk about the paradox of insistence. And when you need something to change, when you insist it, you're actually affirming energetically that it hasn't changed. You're identifying with the very state you want to move out of. And it's like trying to get out of quicksand by struggling. And the more you resist, the deeper you sink. But the moment you allow this present moment to be exactly as it is, without needing it to change, you stop feeding the energy that sustains it, and you free yourself from the cycle of resistance and actually open up space for the reality you desire to unfold. And I've talked about this before, but I want to talk about it one more time because I really need you guys to understand that there is only one energy at play. There's only one energy, only one mind, only one story, and that story is I am. Although we're looking at it through just certain sections of this experience that makes up the whole, you still need to understand there is only one energy, only one mind. And again, I need you guys to listen to me. The same energy that's created your undesirable circumstances is the same energy that will unfold into your desired reality. Again, because energy cannot be created or destroyed, only transformed. So, this means whatever situation you find yourself in right now is not wrong at all. It's simply energy in a particular form. So, instead of trying to destroy what you don't want, insisting that it be different, insisting that all the pieces you need to manipulate, you need to move it around, you need it to be a certain way, all of these things. What if you simply allowed it? What if you recognize that this energy in this moment is fluid and it's always shifting, and that your job isn't to force the shift, but to stop resisting what already is? And the reason why I find this so fascinating with how this really just moves is because when you have insistence that this 3D like has needs to be some sort of way, is it really comes from you actually listening to your ego, listening to this voice that is telling you that you need to do something about it. You need to move the pieces. You find that you move out of your center and into your mind, and you start following the thoughts, and they come one after another. And you have to understand that the mind really loves to have this need to suffer, has this need to keep you on a hamster, has this need to draw you out into the 3D for you to be looking at how it needs to go. And when you start following that, you start looking out here for things to be a certain way. And then you start identifying with form and as this separate self that needs something to happen. And when you're in that space, then you feel as if you're just uncomfortable. You're uncomfortable and you need things to appear a certain way just so this separate self that you define yourself as can be comfortable, can anticipate the need for, okay, I know this is going to happen. So I need to anticipate this being a failure. I need to anticipate my SP not doing this. So I need to move this piece around, need to move that around. And when you're doing that, you're getting in the way. You're getting in the way of the unnatural folding. Remember, you hold it into place when you think that you know the best way how, when you start to make judgments on it, when you start to interfere with I am stepping into that state. You get in the way of that and you think that you know the best way possible, but it's really not that, you guys. The moment you take your hands off of a situation, it becomes completely neutral. It becomes completely neutral because you as the operant power is not sitting here judging it, not saying that it needs to be different. And so you're not putting all this energy, all this pressure on it to appear a certain way. And then it could just naturally unfold. This one energy, this one moment can pass. It can unfold into the next moment. I think sometimes we think that we just have all this unlimited energy and that it's just we can cut off certain parts of and stories that we don't like, and then we have all this new energy. But no, understand, this is only one energy, only one moment. And so if the moment appears undesirable, this same moment that appears undesirable is going to be the same moment that unfolds into that desired state. So I need you guys to remember, the more that you take your hand off a certain situation and have this need for it to be a certain way, it naturally will pass through you, you guys. That's what we mean by you don't stop, you don't cling, you don't grab to what is, you allow it to pass. And the more you don't step in the way, it easily unfolds. So I want to talk about, how do you actually do this? How do you allow something that feels so uncomfortable? And this is how I approach it. And it's pretty simple. So the first thing you do is drop the story, you guys. Drop the story. Stop feeding the mind's narrative about how bad or how wrong your current situation is. The more you reinforce it mentally, the more you're locking it into place. And so the next thing is, feel the energy without labeling it. Instead of calling something a problem, just notice the sensation of it. Is it heaviness? Is it tightness? Is it restlessness? Let it be there without trying to fix it, trying to change it. Remember, the more you don't place a judgment on, this is bad because I feel this tightness, this is bad because I feel heavy, this is bad because I feel this heaviness, the more you don't label it, the more it's just moments passing. It just releases from you. It changes into hopefulness. It changes into lightness. It changes into peace. And that's where you need to be in. It changes into acceptance. That's where you need to be in order for it to unfold into the way that you prefer, right? And so the next thing is, you recognize that it's already shifting. And the moment you allow what is, you stop reinforcing it. You're no longer holding it into place. And in that space of neutrality, transformation naturally happens. Because remember, whatever appears, whatever forms appear, none of it has any meaning until you start placing labels and stringing continuity together, stringing stories together, making all this stuff up, and it places that veil over what's already been there, you guys, right? So the moment you can meet this moment with knowing that it's already shifting, then you just allow, right? So the last thing is, focus on what already feels aligned. When you stop resisting, your energy is freed up. And instead of obsessing over what's wrong, start noticing and appreciating what already feels good in your life. This isn't about ignoring reality. It's about shifting your focus so the energy can realign. Remember, I say this in videos all the time, a watch pot never boils. So when you're watching that undesired circumstance, your awareness is still on it. And so it's locking it into place. What seems like you're looking at it and it seems like it's not changing. But the fact is, behind appearances, it's already changing. But your insistence on, I feel uncomfortable, this needs to be different, I don't like this, I don't like that, this should be different, this person needs to do this, SP needs to do this, then it just remains there. it remains in your awareness, and you keep feeding more of that into that story. And so that's what makes the illusion so grand and so big. But understand, the more you just put your awareness on what's already going right, there's something in your life that's actually unfolding right at the moment, whether it's you just having this moment to wake up and have the space that you're in, being able to pay your bills effortlessly, whatever this is for you. If you put your awareness on what's already going right, and then just focus on the fact that you're already living in your in and getting excited about experiencing that. Something I like to do is plan vacations. I like to go far into things being the way that I want them to be. And I start there and I start living from that aspect. And my energy is all the way over there, that I'm like not even worried about what's unfolding over here. And somehow, some way, everything gets taken care of without my insistence that this present moment be any different than what it is. Right? Right? And so it just moves because I don't have a judgment on it, right? And so I want you guys to understand the paradox again is, the moment you stop insisting that something change is the moment it begins to shift. When you trust that energy is always in motion, always transforming, you no longer feel the need to control it. You're always standing at the threshold of your desired reality, and it's just about allowing the shift to happen. So the next time you find yourself in an undesirable circumstance, instead of resisting it, try allowing it. See what happens when you stop insisting and start flowing with the current. And if this resonated with you, I want you to let me know down in the comments. And if you're ready to go deeper, make sure you subscribe, like, share for more insights like this. And I want you guys to realize that above all of this, it's all about you trusting in I am, trusting in your source, trusting that you're the source, trusting that creation is already finished. And if it's already finished, then there's nothing for you to do. All you need to do is just align yourself with knowing that I'm the source and it's already done, it's already taken care of. And it's not you entering any state, any desired state. Remember, it's I am entering the state through you. And so when you understand that, you stop taking yourself to be this doer and needing to figure things out. Know that I am is the only doer and the only one entering the state. And you're the one that gets to experience the 3D expression of it, but it's already real for I am, just like we talked about in one of my previous videos, which I'll link down below. All right. So I want you guys to understand that and kind of think about that this week before you insist on your way being the best way, before you insist on something that's happening right now that needs to be completely different at this moment. Before you get into that, before you get into adding another story, adding more context, thinking that something is wrong, I want you to keep this in mind. All right. So come back to this video if you need reminders. And remember, you guys, everything that you need to know is down in the description box, from my master classes to working with me to downloading my self inquiry audio, which will help you with all of this. And so, yeah, you guys, remember, your imagination is on your side, and I am too. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.